Hey everyone, welcome back to more political chatter. In this video, we will be talking about the final pushes that the 2022 candidates for Senate, Governor, House, whatever it may be, a heavy emphasis on Senate candidates because those are most important on how these elections affect your everyday lives. But we will be talking about the final push that candidates are making across the country with only 4 days until Election Day. Get that in your head. We've been talking about these midterm elections on my channel for months and months and months. Early of 2022, we started talking about them. And now it's coming down to a close. And that's the same for these candidates. Take Tim Ryan, for example. He's been in this race since, summer of 2021. All these other candidates, they all announced, beginning of 2022, late 2021. They have been in it for this long, and it's now all coming down to a close. And early voting is already taking place. The election already has started with early voting in, most states. But this is where my Senate predictions currently stand, and this video isn't about my predictions. It's just about what candidates are doing with so little time until Election Day. I have Republicans winning majority, 51 seats, Democrats 49. And then, sorry about this loading. Whoops, that's the House elections. Sorry about that. These are my gubernatorial elections. I just wanted to show you Senate and gubernatorial. 30-20. Republicans win Oregon. Well, you could get it. But anyway, I'm sure you guys have heard figures coming out in campaigning for candidates across the country, specifically three presidents or former presidents. One being Joe Biden, the incumbent president, who is unpopular and probably doesn't have that great of an effect. A former president, Donald Trump, who is more unpopular than Joe Biden and probably will not help. He's honestly more of a risk than a positive. And former President Barack Obama, who 100% is a positive thing for the Democrats that he is campaigning for, as he has a popular popular rating across the country. With only 6 years since he has left office. 5 years, really. That's insane. Only 5 years since Obama left office. But anyway, more like 6 actually. But anyway, Biden, we'll start with Biden. He has been campaigning mostly in Pennsylvania for John Fetterman. And I've made videos about this. Pennsylvania is make or break for Republicans or Democrats for Senate majority. It will be the deciding factor. Democrats really need anything that they could get in Pennsylvania. They need as many people as possible. They need all hands on deck in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania goes blue, Democrats have a majority. Pennsylvania goes red, Republicans have a majority. I have Dr. Oz winning in Pennsylvania. You know who else is campaigning in Pennsylvania? That being Donald Trump, which, as I mentioned, is probably more of a risk. Saying that, Pennsylvania went to Joe Biden in 2020. It was a Biden state. And Trump, who is a very controversial figure, is coming out and campaigning for Dr. Oz, whom he endorsed during the primary, which is the only reason why Dr. Oz won. So, Trump, coming out, really trying to get Republicans to hold on to Pennsylvania is really a risky move. He is a very controversial president. It's one thing for someone like Biden to be an unpopular president. But Trump is not just unpopular. He is very controversial. People love him or they hate him. He's a very polarizing figure. I don't see this as very much of a positive for Dr. Oz, for Trump to be campaigning for him. I really don't think Biden campaigning for Fetterman adds much to it either, except maybe a couple establishment Democrats being more prone to voting for John Fetterman, who's more far left than them. But Pennsylvania really will be the center of 2022, and it already is. And both parties will really need to win it, and they will need to try their hardest. So I really understand both Biden and Trump campaigning in Georgia. And then there's Obama campaigning in other states. He was campaigning in Arizona for Mark Kelly, the Senate candidate. Really? If Mark Kelly loses in Arizona, let's say Blake Masters loses in Arizona, I think that Mark Kelly will win. But let's say that Arizona goes red. It is game over for the Republicans. If my predictions come true, but Arizona goes to the Republicans, they win 52 seats. Democrats could win Pennsylvania, they still don't have majority. They would have to win Nevada and Pennsylvania and Georgia if Arizona goes red to have majority. That is not happening. Arizona, Pennsylvania, Georgia, not all three are going blue. Nevada will go red. Pennsylvania will go red. Georgia will go blue. So really, my point is that it's game over for Democrats if Republicans win in Arizona. But I really don't see it happening. But it's always good for Democrats to secure a victory somewhere, if they want to keep Senate majority. Obama really campaigning in Arizona, even though he didn't win big here when he ran for president. He didn't win at all. Actually, Republicans won big here. It's definitely a good thing to encourage Democrats to go out and vote because the party registration for Democrats really has increased since Obama left office. And then there's also Wisconsin. Obama has gone to Wisconsin, traveled to Wisconsin. He's been all over the place. Many states, 5 states now. And he, in Wisconsin, is campaigning for Tony Evers, the Democrat governor running for another term, and the Senate candidate, Mandela Barnes. I really don't think that you should spend time campaigning in Wisconsin because, everyone knows it's going to be mostly for the Senate candidate. It's always for the Senate candidate who people could care less about the gubernatorial candidate somewhere else. But Obama should not be spending time in Wisconsin for Mandela Barnes. I have Ron Johnson winning by 4%. I really don't think there's any chance, I don't think that there's any chance of Mandela Barnes winning this race. I think he should spend less time in Wisconsin, spend more time in Nevada, spend more time in Pennsylvania, spend more time in Georgia. So I don't really think that's a good move, but again, final push. Maybe they could win Wisconsin. No, they can't. I don't know what I'm talking about. And then, in front of you now is actually a live video. It's on Facebook of Kari Lake and Blake Masters. They are making a final push on immigration and economy. They just toured the border, and they're now having a meeting with a discussion with Border Patrol members. That is what they've been campaigning, they've been campaigning on the economy this whole time and before the election. But now they've steered away from that, and they're, working with Border Patrol agents, talking about the border more, economy, issues that Arizonans actually care about. So, Trump did not make a huge final push in Arizona for Blake Masters or Kari Lake recently. He did earlier. Not a final push, but he did campaign for these two candidates earlier. But Blake Masters, Kari Lake, shifting away from issues that no one cares about, like the election, and shifting more towards economy, immigration, issues that Arizonans will care about. And then we have Obama in Georgia. I know we've talked about Obama, but this is the final time we'll talk about Obama. Obama in Georgia. Definitely 100% is going to boost Raphael Warnock. This was a Biden state, okay? Georgia went to Joe Biden. Obama, who I'm sure would have won it by a larger margin than Biden had he run in a year like 2020. I believe he definitely would have won. He would have been, he's going to increase that African-American turnout that voted for Biden in 2020 and isn't particularly happy about how the Democrats are doing. He is going to encourage those African-American Democrats to vote for the Democrats once again. He will definitely have a significant impact in Georgia, more than any other state, okay? And with that, I think that Democrats do win Georgia, but if they don't, it will be hard, very, very hard for Democrats to win Senate majority. So, Obama campaigning in Georgia, definitely a good thing, definitely a good final push strategy. We talked about Trump, tabs open, oh God, now that, and then, oh my God, we are talking about Obama a little bit more, but I'll just talk about it briefly. Obama did go campaign for Fetterman. I think we actually did talk about this, but Obama's also campaigning for Fetterman. So where's Obama campaigning? Georgia, Pennsylvania, Arizona, and Wisconsin. He is campaigning mainly in 4 big states, ones that Democrats need, and Obama, they should be thanking Obama. He will be a huge help. I also want to point out, I wanted to mention this earlier, Trump was campaigning in Iowa for Chuck Grassley, a race that I don't find to be very competitive, and I think that Trump knows that Grassley is going to win no matter what. However, I think that Trump realizes that he is a risk to have campaigning. I think he realizes that. Even though he did campaign in Pennsylvania, or he is in these final days, I still do think that he knows that he might not be beneficial for states that went to Joe Biden in 2020. Like Georgia, he hasn't been there for a while. Like Arizona, he hasn't been there for a while. Like Nevada, he hasn't been there for a while. So, I think he does realize that, and that's why he was campaigning in Iowa for stupid Chuck Grassley, who was going to win anyway. And then, finally, I'm sure we talked about this, but Biden campaigning all over the country. So, I just wanted to make this video to talk about that final push, what I've said a million times now in this video. So thanks for watching. Make sure to go out and vote if you're eligible. Unfortunately, I am not. If you're not eligible, make sure everyone, friends and family, go out and vote if they are eligible. Tell them to register for next year if they didn't register this year. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope to see you all next time.